and breathe easy again.
Going undercover, you're gonna do this my way, you understand?
You got 48 hours.
Apply the pressure.
Someone took them off.
Clock's ticking. I'm going in. Ah! Cut! Ah!
NBC's hit drama series La Brea is back.
We're gonna find a way back home together. Whatever it takes.
Go! Later, Jimmy Fallon welcomes co-host Jack Harlow. NBC.
On our broadcast tonight, Minocqua is upgrading its park. We'll explain how the city is making it more accessible. Plus, more Wisconsin students are getting hands-on job training. We'll have more details on why apprenticeship programs are growing. And the Oneida County Courthouse in Rhinelander has a rich history. We'll get a look inside some of the hidden places in that courthouse. Your local news starts right now.
Your local news and weather from where you live. News Watch 12 at 10 starts now.
Welcome to News Watch 12 at 10. I'm Jessica Jukich. Court proceedings got off to a rocky start again this morning in the trial of a man accused of killing 6 people when he plowed an SUV into a Christmas parade crowd in Wisconsin last year. It only took about 10 minutes before Darrell Brooks, who's representing himself in the case, was removed from the courtroom. Brooks refused to change into his suit and tie at the request of the judge. And after repeated interruptions and disruptions, he was removed from the court. Brooks was sent to an adjacent room where he removed his shirt. Procedural motions continued before statements got underway, with Brooks appearing remotely. Temperatures are dropping in the Northwoods. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Weller joins us to explain how long this cold weather will last. Jeff?
Yeah, hey, Jessica. High temperatures up in the upper 50s to low 60s today, but that was really early this morning. Then the wind kicked in, a stiff north breeze throughout the afternoon. We had wind gusts near 30 miles per hour directly out of the north, and that really dropped our temperatures. In fact, right now, here we are. We're at 36 in Eagle River, 38 for Merrill, and it's going to keep dropping from here. In fact, tomorrow, we'll have a tough time recovering out of the low 40s for high temperatures. That's going to be a very cold day. Outside right now, lots of cloud cover across our region. There's some instability in the atmosphere still. This air is moving right over Lake Superior, picking up a little bit of moisture. So there's still a couple sprinkles, which could turn into a couple light flurries tonight. It won't be a huge deal at all, but overall, definitely a couple flurries and sprinkles in the area this evening. Now, tomorrow night, it's going to be a cool one. We're talking game time temperatures in the 30s, dropping into the 20s after midnight tomorrow night. For tonight, though, mostly cloudy skies and low temperatures down near 31. Your full forecast is coming up. Jessica.
Thank you, Jeff. The Wood County Sheriff's Department seized a large amount of drugs, guns, and cash. Today, the department executed 5 search warrants between Hanson and Vesper, which are near Wisconsin Rapids. During the raid, they found meth, cocaine, heroin, and more than a dozen firearms. 7 people were taken into custody. Their charges are ranging from possession as well as manufacturing, delivery, and trafficking to child neglect. The bust was a combined effort with 7 other law enforcement departments, including the Central Wisconsin Drug Task Force. A Wisconsin judge is prohibiting voters from canceling their original absentee ballot and casting a new one. That process is called ballot spoiling. A Waukesha County judge made the ruling yesterday. This comes as voters in the battleground states are submitting their absentee ballots for the November 8th election. This lawsuit challenged the guidance that was issued on August 1st to more than 1,800 local election clerks by the State Elections Commission. That detailed how they can spoil an absentee ballot at the request of a voter after it's already been returned. Frontier began experiencing a widespread outage Tuesday, affecting Lincoln County and surrounding areas, including emergency 911 telephone services, landlines, and internet services. Frontier was able to find the break in their fiber yesterday afternoon and repaired it this morning. All calling tests have been done successfully, and service, including emergency calling, landline calling, and internet services, were restored. A record number of Wisconsin students are becoming apprentices. Today, the Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development announced that Wisconsin has surpassed 15,000 participants in the registered apprenticeship program. That's the highest participation rate in the program in 2 decades. The program combines on-the-job training with classroom instruction and allows apprentices to earn money while they learn. Wisconsin Registered Apprenticeship Program began in 1911 and has served as a national model for its innovation. The state's 2,600 participating employers include leading manufacturers, construction, businesses, agriculture, and food producers. Wisconsin recently added child care providers, healthcare systems, and information technology services. The number of apprentices is expected to continue to grow. Torpy Park in Minocqua is currently under the second phase of a 3-part construction project. The town is currently making it more accessible to users by putting ramps in parks. The money comes from a federal grant called the Community Development Block Grant. The city of Minocqua's Mark Pertelli says that the overall goal is to connect the upper part of the park with the lower part.
The ADA connection between the upper and lower pavilions, that's a key amenity.
The first phase included fixing a failed sanitary sewer. The second phase includes them putting the sidewalk and ramps in. This is scheduled to be done by mid-December, and starting next spring, crews will begin the third phase. The Northwoods is abundant with trees, but one local forest received special recognition today. Rhinelander's Homebow Conifer Forest State Natural Area was inducted into the Old Growth Forest Network. The Northwoods Land Trust owns the property and were presented a plaque during the ceremony this morning. It's named after the family who initially donated the land. Homebow is a 32-acre of hemlock, pine, and white cedar. The forest is the 4th in Wisconsin to be added to the Old Growth Network. The fall Northwoods Art Tour kicks off tomorrow. It'll be an opportunity for people to see paintings, pottery, and even some socks. Jenny Gibson spins socks at her resort in Hazelhurst. She uses sock-making machines from the 1920s. Gibson knitted her whole life and learned how to make those socks through YouTube videos. Her work will be on display the next 3 days at Black's Cliff Resort.
Each ball of yarn is like opening an Easter egg, and you never know what you're going to get. And I just love watching the colors form in the machine. It's one of my favorite things to do.
To see Jenny and other northern Wisconsin artists, you can go to northwoodsarttours.com. The self-guided tour runs from Friday until Sunday. We're learning the full scope of Hurricane Ian, and a tournament is coming to Stevens Point. We'll have more information after weather right here on Newswatch 12.
I'm Sheriff Jim Johnson.
I'm Sheriff Eric Severson.
We've got the real story on Mandela Barnes.
Barnes wants to defund our police, but he spent over $600,000 of your money on police protection for himself.
Barnes wants to eliminate bail for violent felons, and his administration has already released over 800 criminals, including 44 child rapists.
Take it from us.
Mandela Barnes policies are a threat to your family.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Come to Carpet City Flooring Center's biggest sale and get the best for free. Through Saturday, get free installation on our best-selling carpet, free estimates, and interest-free financing. That's right. Free carpet installation, free estimates, and interest-free financing. Only at Carpet City Flooring Center. Come see why contractors and designers choose Carpet City Flooring Center for their flooring needs. And get the best for free.
Carpet City, our prices will floor you.
It's the final days of Antigo's Lakeland Furniture. October 9th is the final day. After 35 years of business, Lakeland Furniture in Antigo is closing its doors. Save now while the selection is best. Save on quality furniture for every room in your home. Make us an offer. No reasonable offer will be refused during Lakeland Furniture and Mattress in Antigo's final days. Reclining sofas, sectionals, recliners, bedroom and dining sets. Free financing available and all credit levels welcome. Hurry in. Final day, October 9th.
When it happened, he was the boss.
These allegations span over 2 decades.
Women at Tim Michael's company say they were pressured to have sex with their supervisors.
If she refused demands for sex, she would be blackballed from working on a pipeline.
And sexually harassed.
The female worker was given a sex toy and pornographic images for her birthday.
If this is how Tim Michaels runs his business, how do you think he'd run the state? Tim Michaels' agenda is radically wrong.
We've been lucky lucky so far. It has not been very windy across our area pretty much all fall long, but that changed today. We've had some wind gusts near 30 miles per hour, and we're definitely taking down some leaves now with those wind gusts near 30 miles per hour throughout the day today in Minocqua and Wausau and Tomahawk as well. This will not be as windy tomorrow, but still I expect a few wind gusts out there near 25 miles per hour throughout the afternoon. On a north wind, which is making us much colder, as you know, that strange noise is probably your furnace kicking in this evening. We are 20 degrees colder right now compared to this time yesterday, and it's going to get even colder tonight into tomorrow. That's giving us temperatures right now at 36 in Eagle River, 37 for Antigo, 39 for Mosinee. So yeah, it feels like fall out there in north central Wisconsin, and it's going to get even cooler tonight and tomorrow. The average high is still 60. The record low is 19 back in 2001. Record high being 84. The sun set earlier at 6:28 as our days are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And okay, so the core of the coldest air with this surge is going to settle over us tomorrow. That's going to give us high temperatures pretty much in the low 40s for highs tomorrow. But then there's some recovery. It's short-lived, right? By Saturday into Sunday, we got warmer temperatures on the way, back in the 50s to low 60s. But then keep your eye on that guy right there. That is going to make a return for us basically next week, Wednesday into Thursday and probably Friday. We could have high temperatures again next Friday, hanging out in the upper 30s to low 40s. On the map, that looks like this. So 44 tomorrow. The cold day is tomorrow. But then a good recovery, right? Look at that. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, back in the mid-60s, Tuesday into Wednesday. Today, though, a good start to our day. Some sunshine, and then a couple clouds rolled in, a couple of sprinkles out there. That's the cold front. The wind shifted out of the north, got a little breezy, and that really dropped temperatures after a high near 60. It's been dropping pretty much all day long. And there's still some sprinkles out there and maybe even a couple snow flurries tonight. There's lots of instability. The air out there now is flowing right over Lake Superior about 3 hours ago, and that's picking up some moisture. So as that rains itself out tonight in the form of some flurries and light sprinkles, you may see a couple of snow flurries on your windshield by tomorrow morning. Futurecast shows the story well, right? That north wind over Lake Superior, keeping these clouds around tonight and a couple of showers around. It will not be a big deal. Basically out of here by tomorrow morning, we'll be in a good spot. So our forecast then tomorrow, we're talking about highs back in the low to mid 40s to the north, maybe a couple mid 40s to near 50 across the south. It will not be a warm day tomorrow at all. Our forecast then tonight, those cloudy skies, a couple of sprinkles and flurries out there. Low temperatures down near 31 for tomorrow. All right, grab a coat, right? It's Friday. Ooh, it's been a week, right? Partly cloudy skies, a couple of sprinkles early, colder. Tomorrow night's football games, game time temperatures in the 30s, falling into the 20s late tomorrow night. And then looking ahead, your 7-day forecast by Northwoods Furniture and Mattress shows tomorrow's our cool day. The weekend looks pretty good, partly cloudy Saturday into Sunday. Monday, 58, back in the low to mid 60s on Tuesday. Jessica?
The death toll from Hurricane Ian has climbed into the triple figures as of Thursday. At the end of last week, the death toll sat at high 80s. After more dust has settled and search and rescue teams continued their efforts, the toll now sits at 133 people. 128 of those deaths have come from Florida, with an additional 5 taking place in North Carolina. Ian, which slammed into Florida on Wednesday with 150-mile-per-hour winds, was downgraded to a post-tropical cyclone after marching into the Carolinas. Golf season is winding down in Wisconsin, but next year the U.S. Senior Open Championships will be coming to Stevens Point. This week, representatives from the USGA were on site for the 4th time since it was announced as the location. It was one of the last chances for them to check out the course before it's covered in snow.
At this point, it's all about growing healthy and happy turf heading into the 2023 season. I'd like to think the hard part is probably all done and behind the team here at Central World.
The crew travels the country overseeing grounds crews preparing the championship courses. The tournament is set to begin at the end of June 2023. The USGA says it will certainly be back many more times before then to ensure that everything inside is ready for play. Three Lakes Soccer faced off against Ashland. Coming up on Newswatch 12, Saul Meyer will have the highlights from that game and other high school games in the area.
We're paying more for food, gas, and rent. But Tony Evers wants to take even more of our money. He tried to raise the gas tax by 20% and double the tax on our heating bills. Evers wanted to use our tax dollars to pay people who refuse to work. And he wanted to give taxpayer-funded benefits to those who entered our country illegally. Evers even opposed drug testing for those getting welfare. We just can't afford 4 more years of Tony Evers.
Update your bathroom's flooring with sheet vinyl from Menards. Easy to install IVC sheet vinyl is waterproof and has a durable wear layer to resist scuffs and stains. Get 11% off all IVC sheet vinyl. Finish off your bathroom renovations with a new bath fan by Delta Breeze. Strong performance mixed with quiet operation makes this energy-efficient bath fan the perfect choice. Save 11% off on Delta Breeze bath fans right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
This Saturday through Tuesday only, you'll get our best discounts of the whole year. It's Slumberland's Customer Appreciation Sale, and it's a huge deal. Everyone gets an extra 33% off our already low Slumberland prices. October 8th through 11th, shop our wide range of mattresses and furniture. 33% off Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. The Customer Appreciation Sale, only at Slumberland Furniture. Don't miss this one.
Dear Exit Strategy, all your pieces are in place. A tranquil lake, a serene sky, an emerald forest, a secret hideout. Thanks for being there just when I need you most. Always Toyota SUVs.
Get 2.49% APR for 48 months on a new Toyota Corolla, Camry, RAV4, Highlander, or Tacoma. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Coming up on your Friday, meet a furry friend from Catkins Animal Rescue.
All right, temperatures falling into the mid-40s for our high temperatures tomorrow, but the weekend looking pretty good. What does the rest of the forecast hold? More when you tune in on your Friday.
Sports Watch 12 with Saul Myers starts now.
Tobias Volkman unfortunately did not win Player of the Week as voting ended today, and he was just a little short of winning it. That being said, he probably had a big chip on his shoulder for Three Lakes Phelps' match with Ashland earlier today. The Blue Jays are coming off of a 3-game winning streak, outscoring opponents 19-3 in those games. So let's see if they made it 4 after their match with Ashland earlier today. And this match had the double whammy in terms of bad weather for soccer. It was 40 degrees and raining. Here in the first half, Three Lakes trying to pull out a trick play. Christian Jolan fakes the PK and Volkman sends it through, but nobody's home except the keeper. Later that half, Three Lakes already up 1-0. Across from Chase Melton gets deflected off an Ashland player, and holy moly, what a rocket from Tobias Volkman. He hits the bottom of the crossbar, and the Blue Jays are up 2-0. Here in the second half, last chance for Ashland to come back, and the ball is headed away, and Three Lakes is going to hold on to win it 2-1. Now moving on from Three Lakes to, well, Three Lakes. It's not a Manic Monday, it's a Three Lakes Thursday. Here in the first set, Erickson and Fogarty set up this play where, pow! Carly Weavers gets the kill, and the Blue Jays go up big. But Lakeland Union came back, score tied, and the T-Birds get the stuff on this play to take their first lead of the match. Now we've got the irresistible force versus the immovable object. Union's defense meeting Carly Weavers at the net. Advantage Weavers, but the T-Birds defense proved to be too much for Lakeland, or for Three Lakes, and Lakeland Union wins this one 3-1. Now on to some local area scores for boys soccer that we couldn't get to tonight. First off, the official 2022 Great Northern Conference champs Medford hosted Antigo, and they won this one 13-0. Medford will host Northland Pines next Thursday, and Antigo will take on Three Lakes Phelps on Monday. Next, Rhinelander traveled down south to Mosinee, and the Hodags ended up winning that one 3-1 in PKs, but it was tied at the end of regulation, so the game was officially declared a conference tie. The Hodags will host Antigo next Thursday, while Mosinee will take on Wausau West next Tuesday. DC Everest High School announced earlier this week that they will officially be moving forward with the project for a new athletic complex. The Green Heck Turner Community Center will be built in the Wausau metro area and will be worth over $35 million. That money was all raised by community donations, so no taxpayer money will be used for the project. The plan is for the athletic complex to be finished and ready to go in summer 2024. The preseason is here for NBA basketball. The Bucks have already played their opener, but they were back in action earlier today, and I mean early. Why? Because the Bucks and Hawks played their game today in Abu Dhabi. And I know this is just a preseason game, but this is a fun one. Because not every day do you get to play in a place like Abu Dhabi. Here in the first quarter, Trae Young is already in midseason form. He takes the handoff here and gets the mid-range bucket to bring the Hawks within 2. You know what else is back in midseason form? That Drew Holiday, Bobby Portis connection. The Bucks sure are glad they re-signed him. 1 quarter later, there's one name we haven't mentioned yet. Welcome back to the show, Giannis. Big slam. The Greek Freak ended up finishing with 19 points, 7 boards, and 2 assists. Not bad for a preseason game that featured big finishes like this one right here. Here in the fourth quarter, though, Bucks down 10, 2 minutes left, and the Hawks are going to put this game away with this three-pointer right here. Atlanta ended up winning this one 123-113. Both teams will play each other again in Abu Dhabi on Saturday. We'll be right back after the break.
This portion of News Watch 12 is brought to you by Northwoods Furniture, Eagle River.
There's no other place where my story is possible. My mom was a teacher. My dad worked third shift. It was our ticket to the middle class. That's the promise of America I'll fight to protect. While others send our jobs overseas, I'll bring manufacturing back, invest in our own workers, and stock our shelves with American products. And with a middle class tax cut, you'll be able to keep more of what you earn. I know the promise of America, and no one will fight harder to protect it. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Looking for one of our most capable Ford SUVs? Okay, great. We've got you covered. Spacious interiors, innovative tech, good looks, and a legendary off-road experience. Check out our inventory today, or let us help you place a custom order. Getting into the perfect Ford SUV? Well, it's easier than ever. Yeah, we've got you covered. Now choose FlexBuy on a 2022 Ford Escape or Edge and get 0% financing for 66 months.
Family Foot and Ankle has been serving north central Wisconsin for over 15 years. We offer a vast variety of foot and ankle procedures and strive to provide the best foot and ankle care to all ages and activities.
When you come to see the doctors for the very first time, they are interested in what your issue is, and they are going to work hard to resolve it.
Put your feet in our hands at Family Foot and Ankle Clinic.
At Big Valley Ford, we have a great selection of gently used trucks, SUVs, and cars, and we are ready to help you find the right vehicle to explore the Northwoods. Big Valley Ford is passionate about every vehicle that enters our service center, and our team of technicians are here to help with all of your service needs. Whether you are looking for a new or used vehicle or need to get your current ride back on the road, stop into Big Valley Ford in Ewan, Michigan, and experience the Big Valley difference.
High Point Sand and Gravel provides high-quality riprap, sand, and screened topsoil for almost any need. The high-quality rock and stone, boulders, and clear stone enhance the function and beauty of your home or business. Offering convenient delivery or pickup throughout northern Wisconsin and the UP, High Point Sand and Gravel provides premium landscaping materials, specializing in producing beautiful decorative stone for all types of landscaping projects. Contact High Point Sand and Gravel to help make your next project a dream come true.
Rhinelanders filled with historic buildings. One of those is the Oneida County Courthouse. Carrie Bladorn takes us inside the famous Green Dome in tonight's Connecting the Dots.
Connecting the Dots, reliving Northwoods history with Carrie Bladorn is brought to you by Fourth Floral, Mel's Trading Post, Rhinelander Brewing Company, and Ripco Credit Union.
Here we are at the Oneida County Courthouse in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. One of the most photographed buildings in the Northwoods, and to me, one of the most intriguing. With its green lantern dome shining for miles around, it is a landmark of Oneida County. The current courthouse was built in 1908 at the terminus of Davenport Street and replaced a smaller two-story frame building constructed in 1887. The current courthouse, completed in 1909, has stood for over 100 years. In 1981, it was added to the National Register of Historic Places. The Oneida County Courthouse recently had a self-guided walking tour installed, which visitors can come and take during normal business hours. But today, I'm going to show you some of the hidden places of this historic building, places you might not otherwise get to see. Let's go take a look. Starting in the crawl space below the bottom floor, the footings of the huge limestone building can be seen. It is pretty much what you'd expect, containing some of the building's subterranean infrastructure. It also contains some storage space. From this area, the building's original chimneys can be seen. No longer in use, they act as conduits for infrastructure improvements made over the years. Moving from the bottom to the top, the courthouse dome is actually made up of two separate stained glass domes. The green dome you see from outside, and the more elaborate and colorful Tiffany-style interior dome that can be viewed from its rotunda. Through a nondescript door, we travel up a modest staircase to the attic area just above the inner dome. Scaffolding holding conduits, pipes, and ductwork can be seen, traversed by a series of catwalks. One of these catwalks leads to a room where we see the top side of the interior dome and the lighting components that make it glow beneath. Another small staircase leads to the floor above the inner dome. This space is hidden from view by the enormous structure that holds up its outer dome. From here, you can see the space between the inner and outer domes is actually taller than the main courthouse building itself. From this area, a small door exits onto the roof of the courthouse proper. This roof is covered in copper sheets that have developed a patina over the years, giving the roof its green appearance. Some of the copper sheets that adorn the exterior of the dome have names etched into them by the rare visitor or maintenance personnel. This one goes back to 1918. The upper dome was chosen from an architectural firm at the time of its planning, and coincidentally was the same dome chosen by Grant County in Lancaster, Wisconsin in 1902, although its spans are filled with clear glass. Back inside, a smaller staircase can be seen that once led up to the bottom of the outer glass dome. This staircase was put out of use when a dome restoration project repaired its glass in the 1980s. Today, a 30-foot ladder extends to the next level. On top of the wooden platform that encompasses the base of the outer dome, the magnificence of its green stained glass is on full display. Both the inner and outer dome's original glasswork was completed by the Schuler and Mueller Company of Chicago. This company specialized in church stained glass windows, and the intricate work done on both domes is amazing to view up close. From here, you can see the metalwork that holds the glass pieces in place, over 2,400 of them. The domes were completed in 1909 for a cost of $600. After years of weather beating down on its glasswork, many pieces had become cracked or filled in with tar. At one point, discussions were had about removing the dome completely and furnishing the building with a flat roof. Thankfully, restoration efforts took place in the 1960s and 80s, saving the domes and returning them to their original glory. New LED lights were added in 2018, making the lighting more efficient and much brighter, allowing the dome to shine for miles around like never before. Both domes' lights have the ability to change color, allowing the domes to appear festive during the Christmas season or various colors for other events. Traveling up the ladder, we reach the parapet and spire that sits atop the courthouse. From this vantage point, we can see for miles in every direction. The views of Rhinelander from this position are unmatched, and many of its other landmarks can be seen, including Rhinelander City Hall, the paper mill stacks, and its water towers emblazoned with hodags. From the bottom to the top, the Oneida County Courthouse is a remarkable structure. I hope you enjoyed this special inside look at its hidden spaces. If you'd like to learn more, go and take the tour sometime. I'm Carrie Bladorn, and this is Connecting the Dots, reliving Northwoods history on Newswatch 12.
Connecting the Dots, reliving Northwoods history with Carrie Bladorn is brought to you by Fourth Floral, Mel's Trading Post, Rhinelander Brewing Company, and Ripco Credit Union.
Thank you for watching Connecting the Dots on WJFW. If you have any Northwoods history you'd like to see covered on this program, Feel free to send me a message on my Facebook page, Carrie Bladorn, Northwoods Historian, or email me at northwoodshistorian@gmail.com.
This portion of News Watch 12 is brought to you by Furniture and Appliance Mart.
Tim Michaels' company has been sued numerous times for sexual assault and harassment in the workplace. But he says
people love working at Michaels.
Women said they were groped, assaulted, and pressured to have sex with their bosses.
We have a great work culture.
Higher-ups called the women liars and fired those who spoke out. So when he says this,
we have a great work culture,
know that the culture comes from the top.
Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Looking for one of our most capable Ford SUVs? Okay, great. We've got you covered. Spacious interiors, innovative tech, good looks, and a legendary off-road experience. Check out our inventory today, or let us help you place a custom order. Getting into the perfect Ford SUV? Well, it's easier than ever. Yeah, we've got you covered. Now choose FlexBuy on a 2022 Ford Escape or Edge and get 0% financing for 66 months.
Sue right, Jake middle, me on the left.
Yeah, I knew I'd win.
Are you saying
What's
something?
really happening over there?
I think you're on mute.
There's no substitute for real gaming fun. Go where fun lives. Old Chum Gaming Wittenberg.
Punishing inflation, retirement savings evaporating, home values crashing, and Mandela Barnes is oblivious. Barnes just supported a massive tax increase on middle-class families and an army of IRS agents to go get every penny. Barnes also supported Biden's student loan forgiveness plan that cost every taxpayer $2,000. $2,000 less to survive on. Can you afford Mandela Barnes? Wisconsin Truth Pack is responsible for the content of this advertising.
It's the final days of Antigo's Lakeland Furniture. October 9th is the final day. After 35 years of business, Lakeland Furniture in Antigo is closing its doors. Save now while the selection is best. Save on quality furniture for every room in your home. Make us an offer. No reasonable offer will be refused during Lakeland